But would you look at that? Oh my gosh. It's definitely one of the most unique planes I've had. Oh, something came off. Is that my canopy? That was my canopy. Okay, hold on. Gonna go in for a landing. Hey guys, John here, and welcome back to John's RC. And this is the Dancing Wings Hobby Fi56 Storch. And as you can see, this thing is an absolute beauty. She looks amazing. She's one of my latest balsa kits. I haven't reviewed a balsa plane in quite a long time. So yeah, breath of fresh air. Can't wait to fly it. So let's do a little table talk and then we can get her in the air. So like I said, it's a balsa build, and with most balsa kits, it's going to be an ARF. It's going to be ARF, so you're going to have to build everything. And this is actually very nice because although it's an ARF, it comes with all of the electronics minus the receiver and the battery. So it comes pre-equipped with 8 9-gram servos. It's already got a 900 kV brushless outrunner motor. It's got a 60 amp ESC we kind of just like taped it down to the side of the fuselage. And yeah, for my receiver, I'm running a Spectrum 8020T 8-channel receiver. I'll tell you why it's such a big receiver in a second. And to power it, to control it, I'm using a Radiomaster TX16S. So the Fieseler Storch was actually used as a reconnaissance aircraft, or kind of like observation reconnaissance for Germany back in World War II. And this was very similar to the L4 Grasshopper in a sense, because it's kind of just observation. This is the variant that has the machine gun in the back, and you can see this is actually, the handle is 3D printed. If I take the hatch off, you can see it's got this nice 3D printed handle, and it kind of just screws on to the little plastic windshield. And that's an A+ for scale detail. It's even got the little trigger. So yeah, I'll leave this off for now. You can see lots of cable spaghetti in here, and we didn't really have a good way of putting this in there. So this is an 8-channel model, because you have your throttle control, aileron control, elevator, rudder, but you also have flaps, and in the front here you have leading edge slats. Look at that attention to detail. That's absolutely amazing. I've never seen a plane that uses a servo mechanism to move slats back into place and forward. So that's absolutely beautiful. So back to the receiver, we tried putting the flaps and the slats into a Y cable. So the flaps, instead of taking 2 ports, it would take 1 port. So it just saves time. So these 2 would be in a Y cable, or these 2 and these 2 would be in a Y cable. However, what I didn't anticipate, and what was likely coming, was it was going to be reversed, both of the servos. So when you pushed the flaps down, it would act like an aileron. One flap would push down, one flap would push up. Now, we've had this happen on numerous planes. Take my Fun Cub for example. However, because there's just so many servos on this plane, we couldn't get it to work properly, because on the Fun Cub, we had a pretty big receiver on it, so we just took out the Y cable and put it individually. However, we don't have enough space for the leading edge slats and the flaps. Thankfully, the ailerons worked correctly the way it was in the Y cable, so it didn't have any other individual port. If it did act reverse, then we would have to buy like a 10-channel receiver, which we don't have. So there's many fixes for this. One, you could just flip the servo location on the actual plane. And what I was going to do was use servo signal reversers. I've never heard of servo signal reversers, but my friend showed me them, and it's kind of like a servo extension that you plug in before you plug it into the JR port on the receiver. However, it took like 3 days to arrive, and so we just pulled. This is actually the receiver from the P39 that we did a little bit ago, and I mean, it works fine now. So I have the slats programmed onto the S1 dial on the transmitter. So you can see, if you go back to the plane, when I move the dial, it proportionally moves with the plane. And for the flaps, I have it configured on a curve, because when you program the flaps by default, the flaps actually push up instead of pushing down. That's kind of dumb, but so I just had to make a little curve, kind of like how you make a helicopter curve. And yeah, so this model has a 1600 millimeter wingspan. It's got a lot of wing area. The length wasn't actually mentioned anywhere. If we find it, we'll put it somewhere on the screen, but we actually don't know the length, so they didn't put it anywhere. So yeah, the real Fieseler STORCH was used for like STOL ops, and it could take off from very short runways. And you can see it's equipped with everything. I mean, it has leading edge slats to get a lot more lift and slower speeds. It's got flaps. It's a high wing. But what this doesn't have that's good for STOL is it's light. This thing is 800 grams. And for reference, that's 2 Fun Cubs. The Fun Cub was 900 grams. So, this is kind of like a hunk of wood. I'm hoping that the motor is powerful enough to like support this. But I mean, yeah, if you can go to the front here, I forgot to mention the battery size. I'm using a Spectrum 4S 2200 mAh battery pack that's in an EC3 to XC60 adapter, and it's 2200 to 2600, and we didn't have a 2600. I didn't even know they made those, so we kind of just have the battery tucked into the front here for the optimal CG. So that's pretty much it. So let's go and fly, guys. Alright guys, I have the STORCH plugged in. Like I said, same battery as the intro, 4 solid 2200 mAh battery pack. Everything's going the right way. Flaps and slats. And the one thing I did forget to mention in my intro that's actually really important, I did not purchase this plane. This was actually gifted to me by one of my flying field friends. We'll give him a shout out. Thank you, JS Hobbies, for the amazing plane. And we'll link his channel in the description. So yeah, let's get to it. Put my flaps into takeoff flaps. And how should we set our slats? I guess like that? Okay. Rudder's wagging. Okay. She is in the air. It needs a little bit of elevator trim and aileron. Come on. Come on. But she is absolutely stunning. Wow. Very, very calm winds. I mean, 1 mile per hour at most. But would you look at that? Oh my gosh. It's definitely one of the most unique planes I've had. Oh, something came off. Was that my canopy? That was my canopy. Okay, hold on. Gonna go in for a landing. All right. All right, very quick flight. She flew amazing. Just saying that she definitely felt heavy in the air, especially on turns, but she flew amazing. Now the canopy came off. That was definitely unexpected, but yeah, so we'll just go look for it really quick.